Very interesting news dropping today about a perfect free agent for Bo Nix heading into year number 2. Could it be true? Should we pounce or should we pass? We get interesting update about a camp arm, a new quarterback coming into minicamp starting on Thursday for the Denver Broncos. Is he a camp arm to throw the ball around, or does he have an actual shot at making this team? We're breaking that down and way more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me in the algorithm out a ton if you like the Broncos, if you would like and subscribe. And one of my favorite parts of this channel is reading your comments, and I have a perfect question for us today. That is, who is your dream opponent for the Denver Broncos week number 1? So the schedule is released a week from tomorrow. I can hardly wait for it. We are a week away from that hitting, and who is your dream opponent? For me, it seems like too long since we've had a home opener. And I feel like looking at our home opponents, Jacksonville is going to be a layup game. Titans a layup game. I think the Giants a layup game. So I want something that's hard that allows us to kind of flex on playing at altitude. So I would love to play the Green Bay Packers week number 1. That's my dream opponent. I think Bo Nix comes out with a win. I think them playing at altitude week number 1 after sitting out most of training camp, they're not going to be in shape, and I like how we match up against them anyways, but let me know in the comments how you feel about that. So big news of the day here is that Gabe Davis, who was a former, like we all know Gabe Davis from his time with the Buffalo Bills. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars and got the bag there, and a lot of folks had high hopes for them, but with the move to get Travis Hunter, with them not keeping Evan Engram, they are rebuilding there and kind of building around youth. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not trying to win a ton of games this year, as our new guy who always yells, Duval, just brand new coaching staff and all of that. So he has been moved on from and actually let go. And so he is a free agent now. And there are a ton of folks who know a lot about the Denver Broncos who are saying that he is the perfect addition to this Broncos receiving core. Sean Payton famously told Kay Adams that he feels great about this receiving core, and we didn't draft a wide receiver until we got Pat Bryant, even though there were several great wide receivers on the board still when we were on the board at 20. And we didn't make a move for Cooper Kupp, even though we wanted to come to Denver. We didn't make moves for Stephon Diggs. We've kind of sat that out. So this could be a perfect time to pounce and get a guy who's really good. So Sire Bettinger, Locked On Broncos, writes for Predominantly Orange, basically talked about, hey, we don't have to pay him if he doesn't perform. We get comp benefits, like if he balls out of control this year and then he gets a major deal somewhere else, and then we get compensatory picks from him. He's really a high reward, low risk player to me. From my friend who's a massive Buffalo Bills fan, I texted him and he seems like he's a great high character guy. And so what would you think about the Broncos making a move to get a Gabe Davis? When you take a look at some of the film, obviously like the best film for him is definitely that game against the Kansas City Chiefs when he had 200 yards receiving, but just a great playmaker with the ball in his hands. He's got fantastic hands as well. He's a great route runner. Some folks say that he's more of a product of playing obviously with Josh Allen. But I mean, he's got massive ability to go up and get the ball, and then just crazy hands and focus. Like, look at that. Double teams, probably pass interfered with there, still comes down with the catch. And then this game against the Chiefs was one of the best performances I've seen from a receiver, and you just see him able to create space there. Zone coverage, man coverage, it does not matter. I mean, obviously you have a cornerback fall down on the play with that crossing pattern. I would love if the Broncos took a flyer on Gabe Davis, and I think that could be a really, really cool move. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. He's got some ability after the catch as well. Like I think the Broncos have a bunch of go up and get it guys, but we don't have a guy who can create after he makes the catch, right? And I think that's something that is probably lacking for this team. And yeah, he's done it against the Chiefs, so could he be our Kansas City Chiefs beater? You just see him find spot in zone coverage here and just nasty route runner. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. It's just interesting that there are still a lot of wide receivers out there and available. So Amari Cooper is still a free agent out there. We still see that Keenan Allen is still a wide receiver who's out there. And looking at the film of either of those guys, I think it might be worth a flyer for the Broncos to make a move at wide receiver. And if not, I think it is the perfect proof to us that Sean Payton really, really believes in this wide receiving core and that he wasn't blowing smoke when he talked to Kay Adams. Like, he passed on Debo. He passed on Debo. He passed on Cooper Kupp. If he passes on Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen and also on Gabe Davis, then you got to feel great about this wide receiver room for sure. Other really big news of the day is that we are just a week away from, or actually just 3 days away from minicamp. No, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. My goodness. And the Broncos are bringing in another quarterback to compete. So Desmond Ridder formerly played for the Arizona Cardinals. He played for the Falcons, and he played also for the dreaded Raiders, is coming in, and he's going to get a vet's opportunity to make this team. And there are a lot of folks on Twitter saying, like, hey, could Desmond Ridder be Taysom Hill? And as I look at the film, he played quarterback at Cincinnati. I don't see Taysom Hill type skill set. He definitely has some wheels, but he seems to be more of like a big-armed pocket passer than he does being a guy who can run, and definitely a guy who can run routes as a tight end. So I don't see the Taysom Hill comp. If I had to predict why the Broncos are making this move and having Desmond Ridder there, I think we need somebody to get the ball to all of these guys we're bringing in for minicamp, and we need receivers there. And Bo Nix doesn't have to go to rookie minicamp because guess what? Bo Nix is the future of this franchise, and he's not going to be there. So let me know in the comments, do you think there's more to the Desmond Ridder coming in? Do you think there's any world in which he could be a Taysom Hill type player? I mean, that was Taysom Hill-ish, right? That little read option jump pass right there. But to me, I think he is more just a camp arm, and there's not much to that story, but it'll definitely be interesting to see how all of that plays out, and does he end up making the 53? When it comes to the Broncos and the way this team is currently made up, we currently already have 3 quarterbacks on this roster, with Jarrett Stidham being Bo Nix's backup. And then we have Sam Ehlinger, who played for the Indianapolis Colts. And so this would be our 4th quarterback if he does indeed make the 90-man roster that makes it to training camp competing. This year, as we talk about camp cutdowns and just how deep this team is, I would love to see this team go into the season with only 2 quarterbacks. I get last year we wanted to keep Zach Wilson on the squad because he had a huge ceiling to him. And I think Sean Payton envisioned a world where he balled out in the preseason. We got a ton of comp picks for him because he got a mega deal. Well, that didn't pan out, and instead we had to cut guys like Tim Patrick and Samaje Perine. I do not. If Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham get hurt, we might as well just like fold it and worry about next year. I don't think having 3 quarterbacks gives you the advantage. You could imagine an argument where that quarterback room last year with Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson was so tight, and their wives were best friends, that there was an advantage there in how it set the culture and helped Bo familiarize himself with becoming an NFL quarterback. I just don't see that same need this year. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. I'm hoping we carry 2 quarterbacks this year on the roster. But, and then the last piece of news here is that there was a massive trade and a player who a lot of folks were pounding the table that they wanted him to become a Denver Broncos. So very, very diva receiver right here we have in George Pickens, and he was traded to the Dallas Cowboys, and they had to give up the Cowboys gave up a 3rd round draft pick and a 5th round draft pick for Pickens. Well, Pickens is on a 1-year deal, and so if the Cowboys like him, they're going to have to pay him mega money, and we've already seen Jerry Jones struggle with navigating the cap and, paying players way more than they were worth with Dak and Amari or not Amari, Dak and what's his name? Somebody in the comments, help me with the other receiver's name there. And Micah Parsons, obviously. And so this will be interesting to see. I'm glad the Broncos did not do this. I think if Mike Tomlin is moving on from a receiver and can't handle all the drama that he brings to a locker room, that's just not a problem we want in Denver. Even if all you had to give up was a 3rd and 5th round draft pick, the Broncos have proven we're more than just the sum of our parts. We're a really tied together, young and hungry culture. And I think it's a good thing we didn't do that. And you know what? Pro Football Focus agrees with us because they put out their rankings for the most improved team in this NFL offseason. And guess who comes in at number 3? Oh, that's right. The only team who made the playoffs last year. So you're telling me, yeah, congrats, Chicago Bears, Raiders, you got better because you were basement dwellers. You're telling me that a playoff team was the most improved team in the league? Like, the future is wildly, wildly bright for these Denver Broncos. And man, a Gabe Davis signing would just take the hype for next season over the moon. But either way, the Denver Broncos have a ton to believe in. I got to go one more, Nuggets. Come on.